This is Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Our guest tonight, Senator Francis Tolentino, no longer Senator-elect, but Senator. It is day 2 of the 18th Congress. Senator, how do you feel? You are, well, you made it finally. I remember when you were number 13, ano?
Yes.
2016.
Good evening.
Good evening. And thank you for being here. But now that you are a senator, what does it feel like?
That's second day trying to fulfill my campaign promises as well as duties expected of us.
Yeah, okay. When you say you're trying to fulfill your campaign promises, let's begin with those bills that you filed. I understand that new senators were required or encouraged to file at least 10 bills.
No, we were required to file in batches, giving way to the senior senators. So yung last kami in the pecking order. So 10 each. So siguro
pecking order.
Para hindi maklag.
Okay.
So I filed 10, mostly based on promises made during the campaign trail. So
and based on your interest, based on your advocacies.
Yes.
Let's begin with what you feel is the most important at this point.
The first bill I filed this afternoon was the Department of Water. So that was what I have been advocating since last year. Remember that I filed an appeal case before the MWSS, asking them why they increased the water rates before the onslaught of El Nino. So this has been close to me because I've been around the country. I've seen the effects of El Nino, agriculture, irrigation, potable drinking water, as well as the effects that still being felt right now in Metro Manila.
Right.
So the Department of Water hopefully will address such problem, because I have materials that would indicate that by 2025 we will have a more serious water shortage, a real crisis. So it came from a study from a Japanese group. So it's about time that we really prepare for 2025.
2025 is just 6 years away.
Yes.
When you say a more serious water problem, a bigger crisis,
Yes,
this is not going to be just water service interruptions, days without water, but what?
So it will affect not just our potable drinking water in Metro Manila, but nationwide. It will affect water needed by the manufacturing firms, by agriculture, plus lower table for water. So I foresee that the real time to plan is now. So by creating that, by filing that bill, I think we will be addressing some of the concerns, especially aggregating the various agencies. I was informed that there are more than 30 water-related agencies right now. So
we're just going to rationalize the setup?
Plus, not just economies of scale, but being proactive. Where do you source? How do you conserve? How do you make it sustainable? Remember that there are still 9 million households right now without faucets all over the Philippines. 2019 na tayo, nag-iigib pa sa balon. So kasama lahat yan.
Okay. And of course, this is also, everybody still remembers what it was like in March, when we had that water service interruption, all those schedules. And when they announced a new possible water interruption schedule, not as bad as the one in March, medyo parang natakot na naman mga tao. Are you saying that this Department of Water is going to solve these problems, is going to give us the solutions right away? Are we going to see better water source? Are we going to see,
we'll have a more
better, parang a real water policy? Somebody.
Yes, I think we'll have a more predictable response coming from whoever is in charge. Because we're not just talking of water that we use daily, but we're talking of water for agriculture. We're talking about water for infrastructure. So even province-based luwas. Level 1, level 2,
utilities.
Level 3, magiging synchronized na activities to such a point that the price of water in Tuguegarao will be the same as the water in Zamboanga City. Ngayon, wala talaga.
Oo. Kanina may binanggit kayo, very interesting, sabi nyo, we should be planning already.
Yes.
Shouldn't we have been planning decades ago? And this is not just about water, it's about everything, no?
Yes, dapat nga with our ballooning population, it has come to a point that this is one of the basics. Too big.
Okay, but you have other bills that you have or will file, no? So the Good Samaritan at Sea law.
It's a new bill. I made my own personal research. Ang tatagal na ng batas natin, Code of Commerce, plus the recent incident.
Revamped, June 9.
Recto Bank incident prompted me to really dig up into some of my files. Nakita ko wala pala talagang batas.
Kailangan ba natin ng batas? Di ba? Meron tayong international law of the seas. When someone is in distress, isn't that the law of human nature, no? Tutulungan mo siya.
Yes.
Binangga mo siya, tutulungan mo siya.
But although it's a norm right now in international law, there has to be a local, there has to be a domestic law because these are not self-executing laws. So, and part of the treaties that we entered into required us to adopt it through domestic legislation. We still don't have that. We ratified, the Senate ratified the, I call it SOLAS, Safety of Life at Sea law, just last year. Last year, 2018. So, you see, there's really a loophole insofar as addressing what happened last June 9.
But this will cover Filipino nationals or foreign nationals who are in our territory, within our exclusive economic
zone.
So, even if they do not recognize Philippine law.
Yes, I physically I synchronize it with our existing fisheries code, which gave, I think, 5 million as a penalty for certain violations. Although it will have to have the consent of the other party. At least we have that law, so to speak, that will provide a semblance of stability insofar as that area is concerned, jurisdiction and otherwise.
You also have another law, another bill that you're going to or have filed. This Department of Disaster Management. This is going to be something like the Department of Water, no? Rationalizing all government agencies that have anything to do with disaster management.
This has been close to me ever since. I've been to several situations before. I've seen the real need is post-disaster right now. We have an NDRIMC that is a mere collegial body.
That collates information and releases information.
No offense to them, it's after
because that is the setup, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
So we will now have an operational entity with a day-to-day mandate similar to FEMA, the state. So they will plan ahead. They will respond. They will respond.
So this is a national agency that will respond, because right now what happens is that it's the local governments that...
The national agency is still there. The national NDRIMC is still there. But in terms of direct and localized response, I think this department is the right solution. So we place there the Bureau of Fire Protection under that agency.
Tatanggalin nyo sa DILG na. Okay.
We placed the PBOX under that agency.
Oh, really? Okay. Goodbye, DOST.
Pag-asa.
Goodbye, DOST.
Pag-asa under that agency. And we created a new one, the Philippine Reconstruction and Rehabilitation Agency, to be the arm for reconstruction.
Okay. Senator Tolentino, there are other bills that you filed. Let's talk more about that when we come back. We're going to take a quick break. Politics as usual. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Politics as Usual. Still with us, Senator Francis Tolentino. Senator Tolentino, you still have other bills you filed, but I have specific questions about 3 of them. You have a bill to revive the ROTC for grade 11 and 12. But what's interesting here is that dadagdagan nyo ng police training.
Yes.
Why?
My original concept was to have a Philippine National Police Youth Corps similar to Malaysia. I foresee the need to have a PNP component there because
in the ROTC
bill. Yes, bago to eh.
Okay.
Yung before kasi Army, Air Force, Navy. To consider the police as a separate branch of service na mas malapit sa tao, I think this is the right way because not all of our jurisdictions would have military camps. Pero lahat merong police headquarters. So I foresee police training for traffic management, disaster preparedness, among others. So
what about for law enforcement, investigation?
Siguro they will have, they will have a mini module for that.
But not a PNP Youth Corps as you had earlier.
No.
What made you change your mind about that? It'll raise a lot of...
No. Okay din yun. But there is going to be an advanced component. If you go to college, you go to advanced army training, advanced naval training or air force, wala na doon yung police. So I think tama na doon sa ano.
Okay, wait. So may ROTC high school, ang gusto mo, meron din sa college? No?
Yung advanced yun, if you want, it's not mandatory.
Okay, parang elective lang.
Yes,
okay. Well, speaking of education, you also have another bill. Very interesting. You're coming up with a bill that will propose another strand in the K-12, no, for senior high school.
Yes.
Because right now there's HUMS, STEM,
humanities, and then there's general strand. So I've been as part of the campaign. Before there used to be several municipal, provincial, agricultural high schools. Nawala. Now we have several state colleges and universities na tinuturo agriculture. I've been guest during several graduation ceremonies, but no offense to them. Minsan nagtataka ako dun sa program, ang products nila, tourism, accountancy. Tama din naman, pero being an agricultural country, we really have to focus on agriculture.
And a lot of people are going back or going into farming.
Yeah.
And not just those who are retiring. I mean, even yung mga mid-level professionals, no?
31% of our GDP comes from agriculture. So we might as well train the youth. And by including it within the K+12, I think it will open a lot of undecided minds na pwede pala yung agriculture.
And give them another avenue, another possible college course. No? After all, farming, that's a very noble thing to do. Emergency Powers Act, but you said this will be for traffic, for example, no?
This was filed during the 17th Congress. But I made some revisions to include not just traffic management per se, but to include likewise what they filed before procurement process for 2 years only, for 2 years. To include even the change of our work schedule, telecommuting, work at home, plus empowering LGUs, specifically in urban centers, to enter into agreements to have their own mass transit systems. For instance, Makati is planning to have their own subway. I heard Cebu, will have their own BRT or monorail. So why don't we allow the LGUs to utilize their powers under the local government code within that 2-year period to enter into agreements with the private sector within their jurisdictions only.
Okay, and you need an Emergency Powers Act for that. Okay, well, speaking of this 18th Congress already, weren't you one of the first to talk about the change in leadership of the Senate?
No, I was misquoted. Ano yun eh? Anong tawag doon? Intriga.
Iniintriga ka lang. Okay, so it's not like you wanted to unseat Tito Soto.
Senator Soto will still be the Senate President.
You would vote for him?
Yes.
Okay, how many of you? A majority enough to keep him in as Senate President?
I think so.
Okay. So na-settle din yon.
Settled din.
For a while nagkagulo kasi. Okay, there are some 40 committees in the Senate, and for a while you were reportedly interested in public services, for example. Why did you want that committee in particular?
Ano rin yan eh, na-flow doon. Hindi sa akin galing yun eh.
Okay.
Oh, there was a time that somebody was, I was asked about those 6 committees. Sabi ko, hindi ko alam yun. So, I was assured of getting Committee on Local Governments. I think my exposure sa local government would augur well for that committee. And then probably I hope to, if given the chance, Vice Chair Blue Ribbon.
Okay. Not the chairmanship. Didn't you want the
Reference
chairmanship
to-
of that?
Senator Gordon is still the chairman.
Yeah, oo. But that is a committee you had wanted sana. Blue Ribbon.
Hindi naman.
Hindi na, medyo lang. Ba talaga? Hindi naman. Medyo
Okay
lang.
na yun kay Senator Gordon.
Yeah. No, pero ano nga ba yung mga committees na gusto mo sana?
yung gusto ko sana, kung nabigyan.
Nasunod ka lang, kung napagbigyan ka lang.
Baka
Diba,
may
Blue
intriga
Ribbon?
na naman eh.
Hindi naman.
I
Hindi
would
naman
have
ako lang.
wanted environment.
Environment, okay.
Because that was my postgraduate studies.
Okay. So, Blue Ribbon,
Blue Ribbon,
kung pwede lang, parang gano'n, ano? Oo. So, public services, hindi totoo na gusto mo sana?
hindi ko alam kung saan galing yun.
Okay, okay.
But it will also of my background on transportation.
Right.
Siguro makakatulong din doon.
Okay. Siyempre, hawak din ng public services, yung legislative franchises.
Yes,
Ganun. Yun daw yung dahilan eh. Sa intriga. Okay. Yung justice, yun daw yung gusto mo sana?
No, kasi
Or na-float din yun?
na-float yun kasi as a lawyer, ay siguro naisip ng iba, doon ka na lang. So,
Okay.
palipat-lipat ako na.
Okay. So what other committees did you want sana?
Okay na sana yon. And siguro, kung ako, dream committee ko,
Yes.
foreign relations.
Oh, okay.
Foreign
Really?
relations.
Really? Why?
Yun naman yung yun naman yung legal masteral ko, foreign relations eh.
Okay.
So, siguro makatulong ako din that's why I filed a bill on that SOLAS law.
Okay. All right. So, when you think about the next 6 years, no, what do you have in mind? What do you think is going to be happening to this? Well, the 18th Congress, of course, for the next 3 years, but you'll be there for 6 years.
18th Congress would, insofar as my party alignment is concerned, we'd focus on the last 3 years of President Duterte's legislative agenda. Probably dealing with more on economics and the fast tracking of the infra
Yeah.
projects that
Build,
will-
build.
yes,
Yeah.
alleviate the lives of Filipinos, the bridges that will connect Iloilo to Guimaras. All of this would have long-lasting impact insofar as not just its legacy is concerned, but the lives of ordinary Filipinos are concerned.
okay.
So,
Yeah. Senator, sandali lang. We have to take one last, very quick last break. Politics as usual. Be right back. Welcome back to Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Still with us, Senator Francis Tolentino is the last 4.5 minutes of the show. Senator Tolentino, in 3 years we're going to have the national elections, presidential, vice presidential elections. Given the very good performance of the administration candidates, among them yourself, in this last election, how do we see what's going to happen in 2022?
ginawa mo ako manghuhula. We'll have the elections, of course, in 2022. And sinabi na ni Presidente that he will not stay a minute longer than the deadline. So, 2022 will prove that we have a very robust democracy in the Philippines. People will really decide who's going to be the next president, vice president. So,
Well, I'm sure kasi no, sa usapan ng mga politikos, sa inyo, syempre pinag-uusapan niya, sino ba yung mga posibleng presidential candidate?
I think...
Ang daming kasing pangalan.
Yung media mas magaling.
Sa intriga?
sa lahat.
At sa info?
So, we foresee probably some changes in the electoral system. We've heard of the hybrid system for the canvassing, counting of votes. So,
Are you for that? Hybrid?
I am.
Yeah?
I am, because Filipinos are really participative insofar as grassroots democracy. Gusto natin bantayan yun eh. So, but the canvassing should be automated.
Okay. So you're saying you want to see manual counting sa presinto?
Sa presinto,
Oo.
But the transmission...
But we also saw kung gaano kagulo yun, hindi ba? And sometimes there was quite a bit of cheating.
Because yung dati kasi, it's manual all the way, including the canvassing. Pero ngayon, if you have a hybrid, so you will infuse technology with the real grassroots democracy, which is akin to the Filipino voter, na talagang gusto niyang bantayan to ensure that his vote is counted.
Okay, ang ganda ng sagot niyo, Senator Tolentino, na nalihis niyo doon sa electoral system. Pero, so, balik lang tayo dun sa tanong at i-specify ko lang, no?
Personalities.
Sino gusto niyong maging presidential candidate? Standard bearer ng administration party?
Malayo pa yan. It will evolve. I think the inputs of the president would be greatly factored. You'll have the pulse of the people probably a year before the campaign starts will be factored. Plus, people ultimately decide based on the need. The Filipinos talagang, I think they're more involved. Nakita naman natin yan eh. So, hindi ko masabi kung sino.
Would you go for higher office?
Tapusin ko na to.
Tapusin mo yung 6 years. Hindi, kasi meron ding within their first term, after 3 years, tumatakbo for higher office. Nagsasalita na kayo ng patapos.
I'll try to participate in all the committees, even if I'm not a chair or vice chair, and contribute to the legislation.
Before?
Legislative system.
Before even thinking about running for higher office.
Ito na yun.
This is it.
Trabaho na lang siguro.
Okay.
Nahirap puro politika. Kaya pala yung title mo, Politics and Business.
Yeah. 2019 ngayon. So, after 6 years, you stepped down, 1920, 2025. No? Would you run for re-election?
Tingnan natin.
Depends how
Tingnan natin.
How old are you now?
Bata
young are you now?
Bata pa ako.
Bata ka pa. All right, final words.
I think the 18th Congress will be an exciting Congress. Not just so far as the Senate is concerned, but even the lower house. So we really need the people's participation here. Kailangan nakatutok sila. They have to be vigilant, not just as a voter who participated during the election, but post-election they have to know the laws being discussed. It doesn't have to be. They don't have to be present in the session hall per se, but they have to be vigilant and participate, especially during consultations and public hearings. So I foresee a very vibrant 18th Congress.
Thank you very much to our guest tonight, Senator Francis Tolentino. And thank you for watching. I'm Pia Ontiveros. This is Politics as Usual. Thank you, sir.